recording on this computer. Oh my God, I feel so famous doing that. I'm like, am I Darren Burks? Oh yeah.
Hi.
I'm so excited to do this. Look at the little palm tree in the background.
I know, I'm trying. It's all nice and relaxing.
I love it. So I just think this would be perfect to do because we were having such a nice, beautiful women to women, nurse to nurse conversation the other day. And I was like, why aren't we taping this so the world can hear us, right?
Everyone else needs to hear it.
Everybody needs to hear this. I think with both of our backgrounds being nurses, so I'm hoping to post this, obviously. So I've been a nurse. I don't know if a lot of people know this, but I have been a nurse for 16 years. So I worked in dialysis, and then I switched over to nursing legal consulting, and then I did hospice, along with like my wellness coaching and stuff, right? And you've been a nurse for 11 years now, and you work strictly in a COVID unit during COVID, which is God bless your soul. And now you're in, the surgery center and stuff. And I've been watching the pharmacist is watching us in the background here live. Which you could pop in and you could help us with this. So it's all like, and I've been watching you just kill it the last few months, let's say, about just like self-care, right? And I think it's so important that we talk about this because women need to hear this, right? Women need to hear this, right? I think as nurses, we have a lot of knowledge, and just even in general, like nurses are so good about caring for other people and then really not sometimes taking care of themselves, right? We make the worst patients. But I think it's just, we were just having such a beautiful conversation of why it's important to just take care of ourselves. And then we were kind of talking about, as nurses, like the knowledge that we have, like of why it's important to take care of ourselves, right? Like what we're seeing in the world for people's health and wellness and mental health just like deteriorating, right?
I think the most important thing is people with self-care, they think it's either you're being selfish, you're being lazy when you're like, I just need a me day. And people take that as like a negative thing. And that's the stigma we need to change. Is that it's not. Is that we always give to everyone else. Everyone does it. Nurses are a big one. Moms are probably the biggest one. But no one ever takes time for themselves.
Yeah.
And I think
what have you been? Yeah. And so, what have you been doing for your self-care? Because I love watching it.
Oh, for me, I joined Pilates, and it's not easy Pilates. It's really difficult. It's 45 minutes of torture, but it's amazing. And I force myself to go. And even if I don't want to go, I go. And then after, I feel amazing. And I think that's the biggest thing, is even making the excuse, oh, I'm tired, I'm this, I'm that. Everyone has an excuse. But if you do it, you will feel better on the other side. You will.
Yeah. I think too, especially again, as nurses, like we know how good it is to move our bodies, right? But such an aspect of it is to like elevate our mental health. And I know for myself, like, I mean, I did not have it as bad as you being a nurse in COVID, right? I can't imagine what it did with like as a mental strain of everything that you had to go through and see. And like people forget, like it was to the point where like you literally couldn't see anybody, right? Like we're afraid to come home with like I was afraid to come home with the same scrubs I had been wearing all day, right? Like we forget that we were afraid to bring our groceries into our house at one point, right? And
in the
like
beginning, it was bad. Yeah,
and like I'm sure it took a toll on your mental health, right?
Yeah, it was really hard because you would work all day, and I can't really say everything we saw, but it wasn't good. And then you'd come home and you knew you came in, you didn't want to, I came in, I didn't want my boyfriend to be near me. I didn't even want my cat to be near me because you don't know what's going to happen at the time. And before we were all like, had knowledge of everything. And, again, yeah, clothes right in the washing machine, jumped right in the shower, and then went to bed because you're so exhausted and, just mentally, physically, you're going to have to get up and do it again tomorrow.
Yeah. So how has all the self-care like really kind of, you can see a difference in you, right? Like you can absolutely. So the fun thing is, like, fun fact, me and Amy have never met in person, right? And we both grew up in Melrose. We both have like a million mutual friends. No, and we both have a million mutual friends. And it was what's been a blessing is the universe works in such magical ways, I believe, right? I wouldn't have met you if I hadn't joined this like team building, family building, people building community, right? And that's been life changing in itself. But for me, it's been life changing because I've been able to level up my network, like my connections with humans. Like I am a better person because I have you in my life because I'm watching you thrive and glow and I'm watching you take care of yourself as a fellow nurse, right? And a fellow woman and a fellow and a fellow bad bitch, right? And it just empowers me to just like get up and do what I need to do, right? The power of support for each other. But like really you've like I've seen you grow and thrive in the last 6 months, right? So like what has that like what was the turning point of like you really kind of leveling things up and for the self-care of like taking care of yourself, right? And then
I
tie that into like being a nurse, like you know the importance of like health and wellness and what you put into your mind, body, soul, and like how we're seeing the world just deteriorate.
Well, yeah, you obviously never know when, not being morbid, when your last day is. And it's
Yeah.
like you always want to be in that healthy aspect. You see all these people that weren't healthy and that they were affected, probably the biggest. There were some that were healthy and were affected, but and you don't take time for yourself and you realize it in your own personality towards people.
Mhm.
And then when you surround yourself with people that are all in the same thing, it kind of affects you a lot. And so seeing, which is cool with you, obviously being you're East Coast, I'm West Coast, is that when I wake up and it's 4 or 5 in the morning, you've already been up, you've already worked out. I see you posting all this stuff, and that's really motivating to me. It's like, okay, well, I need to get up, I need to go do something now.
I love that.
Um,
I didn't even think of that.
yeah, so it's like you guys already started your day's already going, and you're already in a great mood. And I'm like, oh, I'm just waking up, I got to get ready for work, or I got to go work out, or
Yeah.
so it's motivating just having other people on the other side. And I'm sure because people are on, Facebook connected all over the world. So you have people that are in Australia, people over in Europe and South America, and everyone's on a
Yeah.
different time zone. So you never know how you're going to affect somebody else, which
It
is pretty cool.
ripples. Yeah, it ripple I
Someone might be having a bad day and they see somebody else and they're like, okay, I'm going to go do that.
yes, the power of just like watching and being around people that you genuinely want to watch and be around and using it as inspiration versus that comparison, right? I always say there's so much power in social media. As much as it can be a bad thing, it can be a bad thing if you use it as a bad thing. Like I think there's so much power in social media because I wouldn't be able to see what you're doing all the time and get that inspiration when you're posting about your Pilates workouts or whatever it is and just like communicating, right? Like it's so easy for us to communicate between our different posts and stuff like that, but to motivate each other. So like it's really like digging for me, it's like I really had to evaluate like who am I following on social media, right? Like who am I like again, we're so connected to our phones. It's like going through that and filtering out like who am I actually following? Are they inspiring me in a positive way or are they is it negative energy or even if it's something that's like am I constantly comparing myself to this person that it's not an inspiration, it's almost draining me. It's like I mute those people or delete those people, right? And I want to be surrounded by women especially that are like, no bitch, you can do it too, right? I think that's what's so powerful about like what we've been doing and just being able to be friends through nursing and stuff like that. But I just like I would love to hear your perspective on like I guess like, I think as a nurse, we're seeing people just be sicker, right? Like,
Yeah. So what I think on it is most people, when you talk to them, no one wants to be proactive on
mhm,
stuff. They all want to be reactive, and that's just our
yeah,
society. That's just the way our society is. Everyone is reactive, not proactive.
yeah, that's a good
And
way to
they'd
put it.
rather put a band-aid on something as opposed to actually preventing it. If you put a band-aid
Yes,
on it, you put a band-aid, you see that the bleeding has stopped. If you're doing something proactive, you don't necessarily see the benefits immediately. Um, you always our
patience.
brains are trained to be negative over positive.
Yeah. I
So that's
think
kind of
too,
the
like,
thing you see.
yeah, we're never patient with anything either. Like, We always want, and I know this as a wellness coach, the most frustrating thing is the people that want like these quick fixes and quick results. And it's like, first off, it didn't take you overnight to get here, right? It's
Yeah.
not going to take us overnight to get to where we want to be. But like building those foundations and simple, like people forget that the simple things matter over time. Patience with the simple things and building that as a foundation is what is going to make things better, right? And like you go back to what you said, like doing the things like the working out and the Pilates, and it helps your mental health, it helps your mood. I would not be able to connect with awesome people like you if I didn't feel good about myself. And I feel good about myself when I'm doing the things that truly add to me feeling good about myself. And I think what's frustrating too is, and again, I see this in wellness, is like I'll have people push back on certain things like no, I'm not gonna, I'm gonna do this the quick fixes like the juice cleanses or like whatever, and then they'll easily turn around and like eat the pizzas or the cookies or whatever, and they want to argue that like, I'm like, why don't you start with like, I don't know, looking at your plate and portions, and then I'm like, no, that seems like a lot, but then there's no hesitation to the tequila, or you know what I'm saying? Like, I wish people try to tell me they care about what they're doing, but they don't really care about what they're doing because they don't care about the simple things that are what we
Well,
need to be doing to care
they
about
just want to
ourselves.
have what they want without actually
Exactly.
doing the work in any aspect in life. That's kind of what most people do. And most people don't, again, they don't want to do like, okay, I should just get up and go for a walk for 30 minutes as opposed to,
Nothing.
you're on the phone, you're talking to someone, get up and go for a walk when you're
Yeah.
talking to them. But people would rather just sit there and sit on the couch and watch TV or eat a bag of chips and not really do anything.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Kind of how
A
they,
hundred
that's kind
percent.
of how everyone works. So it's
Yeah.
kind of, yeah, that sad thing is, especially being in nursing, because when you're in the hospital and you see people that are really sick, and a lot of times stuff that happens is stuff that was caused because of their actions.
Yeah.
And that's really difficult.
Besides Pilates, what are some of your favorite things to do to just like take care of yourself, right? Like what gives you like joy almost to take
I
care of
love
yourself?
reading. I love reading.
Oh,
I read all the time. I
what's your
read
favorite
we
things to read?
um psychological thrillers.
I love it.
Yeah, that and then the simple love story that, the couple breaks up and someone moves to Idaho and then they like the mechanic that fixes their car 'cause it broke down, they end up marrying and,
I
have to
love
switch between the
it.
two. Yeah,
I'm
that
manifesting that.
and I live close to the beach, which I'm very fortunate.
That's amazing.
So I love walking on the beach. Those are like my things
I
that
love
I need to
that.
do.
And like
Hmm.
I love that all again, all that's supporting your physical health, all that's supporting your mental health, right? Um, as a nurse, what is like a piece of advice that you would give to somebody right now to kind of help them just have that almost like light bulb moment of like, okay, maybe I need to do something. Like, what is
I
that?
would say be selfish.
I like
30
that.
minutes a day, be selfish. Like schedule it in your day.
Yeah.
Just be selfish. If it's a bath, if it's a walk, if it's talking to a friend, putting on music that makes you feel good, anything, you're a better person for everybody in your life if you actually do self care.
Yes.
Making
Yeah.
yourself like pulled on a thin thread, that does not make you a better person. Even though you might be doing a million things at once, you have no, people can feel the energy from you. They can
Yeah.
tell you don't want to be doing any of that stuff. But if you actually do self care and you're in a good spot, then that like you can actually do so much more and give so much more to people. If that's
Yeah.
what your goal is in life, to give more to people.
I think we do that so much too as women, as nurses, like as a society. It's like the one who's the most successful is the one that's doing, doing, doing. And I'm like, that's not the most successful, right? Because it's like the branch that's just going to be stretched and stretched and stretched. It's going to break. Like eventually it's going to break. And sometimes that break is worse than like unable to come back, right? So I think that's such a good point, is like you can take the 30 minutes to be selfish. And I think that's a great thing for moms to hear. I'm constantly preaching that to
Yeah.
moms and caretakers too, right? I think that's a hard thing for caretakers to understand, is like when you're taking care of sick loved ones, like they feel selfish and taking that. I'm like, you have to
Yes.
recharge your battery. You have
Yep.
to do those things. So then you can take care of all the things you want to take care of.
Yeah, that's a big thing. A lot of caregivers, even in the hospital, when you have patients that their family takes care of them 24/7. And I tell them just, and they're like, but I don't want to leave them. I'm like, they're like, I feel bad going out to dinner with a girl. Go out to dinner with the girlfriend.
Yeah.
You'll feel
Yeah.
better when you come back. If not, you're going to resent the person you're taking care of.
Oh yeah, 100%. And that can go to like in any kind of like relationship or or just life in general, right? If you don't, like you said, if you don't take the time to do the things to kind of build you up and make you feel good, you start to become resentful of things in life,
Everything. Yeah.
everything. And then who
Hmm.
wants to live like that, right? And I think it's just, yeah, yeah. I think my advice too would be like to be selfish and then be selfish of who you're spending your time with. And
That's a
in
big
that
one.
aspect, like I've learned in the last year being a part of this community is just how much it means to me to be around good people,
Hmm.
right? To be around genuine, honest, good people that want to level up their life, but they want to see me level up their life. Like the best thing I love about me and you is like I love to like we constantly are cheering each other on. And again, we would have never met if the universe didn't bring us together in this community, right? In this
Yeah.
family. Um and we're constantly cheering each other on for all the other things that we're doing outside of this community. And I
Yeah.
think that just right now, like I've been saying it a lot lately, like humans need humans. Like that's what we need the most. We need people in genuinely in our corner, cheering us on and building us up and being like, no, you can do this. Like, or, you know,
But like you
my
said, genuine.
genuine.
Especially the older you get, you realize you have only so much time. Again, I want time for myself. I
Yeah.
need time for, my partner. I need time for my baby kitty. And so my time with friends and family is only going to be put towards people that I really wanted to be put towards. I don't want to
Yes.
waste it. So that's like a
Yes.
big thing.
Yes. And then, yeah, and being around the like people that are going to add to your energy, right? Add to you leveling up, add to like your, yeah, go effing do this, right? Or like
Mhm.
adding to your toolbox, right? We always talk about as like a nurse, like you need tools in your toolbox for like coping mechanisms or pain meds or whatever it is, right? And like I want to be around people that are going to add to my toolbox. So like if I'm building a business, right? Or if I'm building myself in fitness, nutrition, and wellness. I want to be around people that can give me little nuggets that I
Mhm.
can keep in my toolbox so that I can use it in life lessons.
Yep.
Right. And I think I'm so grateful for you because I just love that you're just such a bad bitch. Like I just think you're such a bad bitch and I just love your energy and
We vibe
we
very well.
vibe
Yeah.
and I can't wait to like meet you in person. But I just love that like there's been how many nights like I've called at like 8 o'clock at night my time or whatever it is 9 o'clock and we've just like chatted and stuff and then we never have short conversations. Like
It's
our
never less than
conversations are
45
like yeah I
minutes.
was gonna say our conversations are like 45 minutes to an hour and then I get off I'm like oh my god I just talked to her for 45 minutes and I'm just like I love that. I
Yeah.
love that. I love that connecting with you and building each other up and cheering each other on and I love that. I just love watching you take care of yourself. I like seriously like the glow up and the confidence and you just like the power in taking care of yourself is amazing. And then the power of taking care of yourself and then for like letting that ripple out to other positive things coming to you, like the confidence and business building and just kicking ass in life. Like it's so inspirational to watch to me. And it's just like, those are the people I want to be around.
Yeah, but to see, yeah, I feel the same way. To see you going from nursing and then building your own business with personal training is amazing.
Yeah. Thank you.
Is absolutely amazing. And all the people that you have, like your anniversary photo, is just absolutely amazing how big it has grown
It's
just by
insane.
word of mouth.
It
That's pretty crazy.
literally, it's
Yeah.
insane. It's insane. And it's like, all I want to do is just let let especially women know that
Mhm.
like I didn't get here overnight. I had to work really hard on myself. I had to let go of things to let in things. I still had to learn lessons even in this journey and my sobriety journey and all that stuff. Like it's not like you just get on this journey like, okay, I'm on this journey, it's perfect. It's like, no, life is still gonna throw you lessons in this journey, right? Um, but just like allowing somebody else to know that they can take a chance on themselves, right? And that there are good people out there that are gonna want to cheer you on.
Well,
And I think
and
it all starts with how you take care of yourself, right? And caring about what you put
yeah,
into your mind, body, soul.
but in like having people around you that you know if you fall down, that person's gonna help you up. That's the
Yes.
difference too, is that you have people that they're cheering you on. They're not going looking at you going, "Oh, well, I'm so mad, like, oh, she's going to do this and I'm still stuck in this." It's like, yeah, because she went and did it.
Yeah.
But you have people all of us have good and bad days, and it's like you have people that you can always lean on
Yeah,
when
and
you're
we
having
need
that
that.
day.
And we need that because we all have bad days, right? We're
We all
human.
have bad days,
But
and you're
that's such
telling
a
a
good
safe.
thing you mentioned. Yeah, it's like we're being a part of a community that isn't there's no jealousy. It's like, you go get that girl. I'm here to cheer you on. And then for me, it's like, huh, I wonder what I can do that too. Right. And the
Mm-hmm.
best thing too is like I could call you and be like, how did you get here? Right.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to give me little nuggets, right? It's back to going back to that community and what kind of nuggets can I get and put in my toolbox, which is so important for life, right? And then having that person to lean on when things are not easy because life isn't easy, right? And I think we've had conversations too where, I've had issues with Joe and I was talking to you about that, or like you weren't feeling well and we were talking about that. And it's like we're always kind of pulling each other out of that darkness to even just remind you, like, you got this and you're not doing this alone. And that's freaking powerful.
Mm. Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
I love you so much. I love
I love
that
you
we
too.
got to do
Yeah,
this. I will
me too.
figure out how to post it. But what's fun is I want to start a podcast hopefully on July 1st. And I'm just my plan is to just do little Zooms like this and upload the audio to Spotify. So maybe manifest that this is the first um podcast episode. But I will figure out how to put it on
Emergenizing
Facebook
it.
too. I can put it on YouTube, my YouTube channel too. So I'll figure out, we're gonna figure out a way. Um, but what was I just gonna say? Figure out a way. We'll figure out a way. Huh? Okay. My producer over here is gonna figure out how to do it. But what I put in the title for when we were trying to do the live, I wrote, like how you do like human to human, like how you're talking. I wrote RN to RN to humans dash let's care about caring about ourselves.
Love it.
So wherever this ends up, that's going to be the title. I love, love, love you. I think you're amazing. I can't wait to do more bad bitch things with you. This is just the beginning for us.
Yeah, I love you too. Yeah, I'm excited.
I'm
Very
excited. I'm
excited.
excited to watch you grow and thrive even more. And then I'm like so excited to like light this world on fire with you.
Yeah, I'm excited to hug you.
Oh my God. I can't wait to hug you. Are you coming to the June 24th event? It's all good. I can't go either. I hope Darren's not listening to this. It's gonna come out July 1st anyways, but we're already past that. I actually no, I have so the girls at White Wolf are doing a powerlifting event in-house, and I think I have like 20 girls competing, which is wild in itself. Yeah. And what the fun thing is yeah, White Wolf decided to do an in-house power meet, and the girls were kind of like, and I was like, do it. Why you come here all the time? Let's do it. Let's do it together. Let's do it together. And so I've been training and coaching mostly all of them, right? And so literally I think there's like 30 people signed up for this meet. I really don't know how many. I would say 25 of them are girls.
Wow.
Yeah. And they have been crushing it. Like even today's week 7 of the 8-week program. Next week is like a deload week because they compete next weekend. And they were doing like their squats at 110%. So it's really kind of over their max. And the 2 girls that were doing it today, I was like, that looked way too easy for a max and above. And it's just like to see their physical transformation obviously is amazing, right? And Their strength is changing. Amazing. But it's the confidence. It's how proud they are of themselves, but each other. How many girls are connecting that wouldn't have talked because they weren't doing this meet, right? They all go to different
Yeah.
times and now and they scatter, right? Everybody has crazy lives, but they've been committed to this 4-day a week program. So a lot of them are going at the same time that normally wouldn't see each other. And these friendships are building from it. And I'm just like sitting in the corner, like,
That's
I
so
love it
cool.
all. I love it all. So no, they're competing on the 24th. So I won't,
Yeah.
that's my priority, my boss ladies. Um, but no, we'll have to make, I told you I need to come to California anyway, so I'm gonna
Yeah.
come visit you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I love you.
Okay.
I'll see
Okay.
you in
Love you too.
15, I'll see you in 15 minutes.
Okay. Bye.
Bye, girl.